Samia Posadas, Jake James, 2026 Jimmy Award winners. How are you guys doing? It just happened last night. Where are the emotions?
I mean, through the roof.
Did you sleep?
Absolutely over the moon. Over the moon, yeah.
So you've just finished a week and a half in New York City, right? And it's this intense, like the Jimmy's Intensive. What was this experience like leading up to the big night at the Minskoff?
Yeah, so it happened so fast. It was like, you wake up, you do this, you go to sleep, you wake up again, you go to sleep, and then it's every day something new. You're learning something new, you're doing more things. And it kind of, like, it really felt like it was all leading up to that big moment, and it was just so rewarding once we got there, like, biggest weight off our shoulders.
That audience last night, I saw you both and a lot of your new friends, your high school theater friends.
Yeah.
I saw a lot of you react to the audience because it's really like thunderous at the Minskoff Theater.
Yes.
What was it like being on that stage?
It was truly electric. Jake and I were just talking about it earlier, that literally we walked out for the opening number during the drum roll and like we couldn't hear the music. Like people just started singing. We were like, oh shoot, like it's time to start singing, because the energy and the audience's just the volume in there was absolutely insane, like unlike anything that I've ever experienced before. It was crazy.
Wow. I mean, what was it like backstage? What was it like with everyone sort of, I feel like everyone's very focused on the task at hand, right? Theater kids, like, let's get really focused and do the thing.
Yes.
But the excitement level,
Yeah.
what was it like just sort of being in the wings and being a part of that night?
Yeah, it was very professional because we're working with the people who work in the Minskoff on a daily basis. So it was like really cool to be there with them and working alongside them. But yeah, it was very organized chaos, I think, backstage. I mean, you go into the dressing room and everyone's like running around doing things. So it was really cool to have that experience, yeah.
Yeah, for sure.
You've been at the Jimmy's before. This is your third year at the Jimmy's, right? And this is your first time.
Yes.
Were you involved in musical theater your whole high school?
Yeah, I've been doing musical theater. I started taking it seriously my freshman year, so like 3 years ago, yeah.
Okay, and you too.
Yes.
So tell me, like, how many roles so you were obviously, let me get through this. So you both were honored for musicals that I love that are kind of not big blockbuster musicals, but you played Jacob in Water for Elephants,
Yes.
and you played Alice in Bright Star.
Yes.
I love both of those shows.
Me too.
So the way that Jimmy's works is that it's 2 winners from each of these regional awards. So you both won awards, and you won. Actually, I was sitting across from Schuler Hensley
No way.
last night, and
Oh
you
my
won
gosh.
you won the Schuler Hensley Award.
Yes.
Fantastic Tony-winning actor. So it was fun watching him. He was very excited to see one of his winners win. I'm just thinking both of those roles, Alice and Jake, are very mature roles.
Yes.
Those are both like very adult characters who have a lot of stuff going on, right? They've lived lives. And it's kind of like the amazing thing about high school musicals is getting to see young performers inhabit roles like that. Is that easy for you to click into? I mean, Alice has a crazy story that we find out in Bright Star.
Yeah, it was one of the most challenging things I've ever had to do or perform, especially just because her story is so rich, and parts of it I can't necessarily relate to directly in my own life. Of course, certain aspects and certain emotions and certain scenarios. She was 17-ish when she got pregnant, and I think having the privilege of telling her story and the whole song, If You Knew My Story, everyone can relate to that. It's like, you have no idea what I've been through, and I think that's always really important.
What about Jacob?
Yeah, I would
he's
say
a dark guy.
Yeah, very similar to Samia. I had a hard time relating to the grief aspect. And so this is the first time I attacked a role without really knowing how to go about relating to the character. So finding different ways to do that, I think, was a really good learning experience, and I can like take that with me to whatever role I play next.
Yeah. I mean, the Jimmy's are really a celebration of what, theater does for kids in high schools and in schools around the country and the world. So I'm wondering, what is it like being in high school and carrying around roles like that? I mean, you just talk about sort of, it's like a whole other level that you're sort of working on at the same time as being a student. And what does that do to your experience?
Yeah, I think you never know how a role is going to resonate with someone in the audience. And so hearing that feedback is very different, because you expect things and then people will tell you something and you're like, oh, I never thought about that. Thank you so much. So I think working on those roles is really intricate in what the audience is going to think about it.
I feel like you probably both have a lot going on in your heads, and you have the ability to sort of to take on big roles. You know, because a lot of people maybe mistakenly assume that kids doing theater are doing sort of like lightweight things, right?
Right,
And so it's interesting, the musicals that are being done. I mean, I learned last night Hadestown is clearly being done everywhere.
Yes.
There's a lot of
Yes.
Hadestown nominees.
Yes.
Yeah.
So it's interesting the shows that that high school performers are sort of digging into. I love
Right.
thinking about that.
Yeah.
And then, we really want to encourage people and young kids to get involved in theater, right?
Yes.
Were you scared at all entering? Think back to when you first started your high school careers. Like, what led you to those first moments of being like, I want to do this? You go first.
All right. Well, okay. So my freshman year, I was just in a very low place in my life for my first semester, and then my second semester was when I decided to try out for the spring musical, which was Legally Blonde that year. And previously, I had only done theater 3rd through 8th grade. I did one show a year, and it was always a Disney Junior show. So I did like Lion King Junior, like Beauty and the Beast Junior, like etc. Like all of those Disney Junior shows. So Legally Blonde was an incredibly monstrous task for me to take on, considering it was my first like quote unquote real show,
And you
I was
played-
cast as Elle Woods.
Yes. Yeah.
As a freshman, as this little like 5-foot like Asian girl that's wearing a blonde wig on this stage. It was absolutely insane, but for sure it definitely pushed me out of my comfort zone, both in my school, just because I was a freshman and I cared so much about what people thought at the time. So it really taught me a lot about myself as a human and as a performer in general. It was crazy.
Wow.
Yeah.
What about you? How did it start for you?
Yeah, I started, I think in 8th grade is when I started the journey of like, oh, maybe I do want to do this actually. I played Jack Kelly in Newsies Jr. And I mean, I just loved the role. It was the second time I did the show, but first time I played Jack, and I just fell in love with the character. And then once I got to freshman year, I played Monty Navarro in A Gentleman's Guide to Love and Murder.
Wow.
And that just changed my life. Like
Wow.
I've never had so much fun on stage. And me, the Dice Squith family is another character, and we had the best bond, and we became such good friends through that. And I was like, these are the people that I want to be around. Yeah.
So it's really about finding your community.
It really
Yes,
is.
it really
School.
is. Yeah.
Yeah. What is it like thinking about those communities? I mean, you're sort of representing them by being here in New York and celebrating these. Obviously, you did these incredible performances in high school, but you had amazing companies behind you,
Yeah.
and you both kind of acknowledged that in your speeches last night.
Yes.
What is it like thinking about those communities and how those relationships sort of lift you up in moments like this?
I mean, at least for me, I have learned I don't think I would be the performer I am without my community and my theater troupe back at home in Tucson. And I think in having the honor and opportunity to kind of perform like the role that I played in our school show at such literally on a Broadway stage at this high level is it's kind of my way of giving back to them in a way, because like parts of me as a performer are because of them. So therefore I'm gifting that to whichever audience is watching me on that stage. And I don't think it's necessarily myself, but like I'm a mosaic of everyone that has shaped me, and I think it's beautiful.
I'm thinking of a Wicked song for good.
Oh yeah, oh yeah.
I mean, those emotions
It's
are true. Is it
true,
same for
yeah.
you?
Yeah, there are many reasons that I do theater. I think the main one is to inspire, to storytell, and to be inspired. And so to be able to be here representing the people who inspire me at home and be able to give that back by giving them that sense of I can do it too, and I can do this. And like, I'm such good friends with them. I just feel like that's such a wholesome moment to think back. Like, this is where I came from Georgia, and these are the people that I grew up with, and that's just amazing.
You both have incredible voices. I want to see you
you.
play all kinds of roles now.
you so much.
And I actually realized I saw you on Instagram because you're one of the many people who did the Nicholas Christopher.
Yes.
You nailed the Nicholas
Oh my
Christopher
God.
chess
Oh, yeah.
Thank you
moment.
so
much. Yes, you did.
Yeah, that got
Yes,
you a
you
lot
did.
of
It
Instagram
did.
attention.
It blew up for sure. That was very unexpected. Yes.
So I was like, wait a minute, I think I know him. Isn't it funny how like you like recognize people in that way?
Yeah.
Yeah.
So that's a role you could do, maybe.
Just
there's so many roles you
yeah,
could do.
that'd be a dream come true. Are you kidding?
Do you?
Yes.
What are the dreams now? So I know you're going to USC.
I am.
Congratulations.
Thank you.
So you're off to California.
Yes, I am.
Yeah, and what are you doing in the fall?
In the fall, I'm going back into my senior year of high school.
Oh,
so-
you're
Yeah,
okay.
yes.
So you still have another
I have
year.
another year.
Yeah.
Okay. So wow.
Yeah.
It's so crazy to think about you know, what it means to be a high school performer, because you talk about this whole process of these, you know, when you do a musical in high school now that there are these local awards,
Yeah.
and you kind of know about this path,
Right.
which is so
Right.
interesting to
Yes.
think about versus just like doing the school show.
Right.
You actually, is it
Yeah.
ever in the back of your mind, like,
Yeah.
wait a minute, I
Yeah.
could end up at the Jimmy Awards.
Yeah. Exactly.
It's
No,
even
I mean, especially if you've been here
crazier.
before.
Yeah.
So
it's insane.
yeah, that's
Yeah.
like it changes the mindset, I feel like, of young performers.
Yeah.
But is that a good thing or a bad thing, or does it add like a pressure?
I think for me, especially because I had the opportunity to go to my freshman year,
Yeah.
so it almost set some sort of precedent mentally. But at the end of the day, like I'm doing it because I love it, not because I want to get to some level of this competition. You know what I mean? Like it makes me really happy. So wherever the wind takes me is where I'm gonna go, and
Nice.
it's brought me to the Jimmy Awards. So here I am.
So USC.
Yes.
So what? Then you have a couple of months now until I guess you head out there. And,
Yes, I will be there in August. Moving
Oh
in.
wow.
Yeah, Los Angeles.
Cool. How excited are you?
I am so excited. I was just telling someone earlier that like ever since I was really young, I kind of grew up very fast, and I always was like, oh, I can't wait to go to college. I can't wait to do X, Y, and Z and like be an adult. And now that I'm like growing up and I graduated high school and I'm actually going to college, it is like, wait, I don't know if I want to do this. And I was talking to someone also because a song that I sang, Where Am I Now, is like this self-conflict, and like I am at a stage in my life where I'm like, what? Like, where? It's very unprecedented. And like, I think there was a lot of beauty in me being able to relate to that. So I am really excited for college, though, and I'm super grateful that I'm able to pursue it at USC.
Yeah. By the way, that song is from Lysistrata Jones, a short-lived Lewis Flynn classic. He wrote that score. That's not a song that many people know. In the competition last night, the finalists get your solo moments right on stage. You did Parade,
Yes.
which was beautiful. And I feel like the choice of those songs must be really important. I mean, it's really interesting to think about.
Incredibly.
You both chose really good, meaty things. And like, that was a rare song, so it made me, as someone who considers myself kind of a Broadway expert, I was like, wait a minute, why don't I know this song? It took me like a minute to really lock into that song. So was that a big part of your decision making for figuring out that final moment in case it happens?
I mean, you can take
Yeah,
this.
yeah, it was really, really, really important for me singing that song. I'm from Marietta, that's where I grew up, and that's where that story took place. So to be able to actually represent that, and a fun fact, Leo Frank was actually in the trial. He was sentenced to death on June 21st, 1915, which was the day before the Jimmy Awards.
Wow.
And so when I went into the audition that day of, it meant so much to be able to tell that story. And I worked so hard to be as respectful and as representative as I could to that community and to be able to tell that story in the best way possible. So it really, really, really meant so much to me to sing that song on that stage.
Well, no wonder these performances resonated. You had all that, and then you're talking about how much that song means to you. I mean, but I think that really says a lot about sort of connecting with the work you're doing, right?
100%.
And not just up there
For
singing
sure.
a song
Yes,
beautifully.
yes, exactly.
Yeah.
So I have a question. Do you like bring the Jimmy trophy to your new dorm for all your new classmates? Is that what you do? Do you make a shelf for it? Is there a special light on the Jimmy?
I'm not sure. I actually have a feeling that I'm gonna like have all of my Jimmys and my regional awards program memorabilia that I like collect throughout high school at my house, and like I have all my like New York Times papers that the Jimmys put our headshots in. Like they're all framed in my room. So I guess my mom will be able to admire that while I'm gone, miles away.
I love it. I have a few sort of rapid questions. So first of all, Broadway star you're dying to meet.
Nicholas Christopher.
Ooh,
I want to meet him so bad.
dying to meet. Tom Francis.
Oh,
okay,
love that.
Yeah.
Okay. Most played cast album on your iPhone.
Waitress.
Sunset Boulevard.
That Sunset
Yep,
Boulevard.
that's Sunset
The Nicole
Boulevard.
Scherzinger,
Yeah,
Sunset Boulevard.
yep.
Is there a Norma Desmond in you at some point?
I mean, years to come. I am 18, but I saw the show 3 times. I love it so much.
Okay.
I love the soundtrack. I loved that cast. We'll see. I guess we'll see.
Okay. I love that for you. What is a Broadway role that you could probably learn in a week and just go do the show? A currently playing Broadway role.
Pony Boy Curtis and the Outsiders. I would do that. I would do that tomorrow if I could.
Cool.
I would say Eliza and Hamilton.
Cool. Okay,
Yeah.
I like these. Just throwing some ideas out there, everybody. And finally, what was the greatest moment of your time in New York with the Jimmy Awards, other than winning? Let's just talk about the experience of the full, everything you got to experience while you were here.
Yeah.
I would say, okay, so I'm a big person. I find so much joy in like the little moments and like the little things. And there was a moment when we were on a big bus tour with our little Jimmy Pod group, and I was sitting on the bus on the top level with Jake James.
Oh.
And it was nighttime, and like we were going over a bridge into Brooklyn, and we saw the New York City skyline, and it kind of grounded me, and I was like, wow, like this is crazy. And I keep saying it was one of those moments where when you're in it, you want to stay there forever because you feel like you're going to miss it, like when it's gone. And it truly felt surreal. I was like, wow, like I'm here, like city of dreams. Like it was unreal.
I love that because there's so many, like 116
Yes,
kids overall.
yeah.
So I was always thinking like whether you two had a connection at all during the week, but I guess you did.
Yeah.
Yes,
Yeah, that's
yeah.
awesome.
Yeah, from the beginning of the week, we were in the same pod, and so from then we
Same
met,
coaching
and it was
group.
great. So,
Yeah.
there was a
Oh,
lot
wow.
of, we were together a lot, yeah. So
Cool. What show could you do together?
People are saying Miss Saigon.
Oh,
wait a minute.
I like that.
I'm always down for a Miss Saigon
Me
revival.
Yeah.
too, me too.
Yeah.
Love that. What about you? What was your greatest moment?
Yeah, so I would say watching all of the other nominees perform their songs and like watching them shine, because everyone on that stage is like so right here with each other. Like it's crazy how talented everyone is. And so watching them and being able to be inspired by them and like take things from their performances was just, it was amazing. Like I got shivers watching people. It was amazing, yeah.
My favorite thing was, not that you asked, but I was sitting in a seat sort of to the side and I could see in the wings, and I loved watching everyone watch each other, like watching the other students.
Yeah.
It's really incredible. It's just a beautiful energy on
Yeah.
that stage. And I'm so thrilled for both of you. Congratulations. So nice to meet you. I
Thank
can't
you
wait
so
to
much.
keep seeing you throughout your career.
Thank you.
And thank you for being here.
Thank you so
yeah. I
much.
appreciate it.